Alright, so this morning we left the Abel Tasman National Park. It's kind of grey and rainy. It's been really sunny the last few days and it's not sunny anymore. But basically we need to maintain 5.5 to 6 knots. It's really important because we have to get the tide right as we go through the Cook Strait, which is still about like 50 or 60 miles away. So if we arrive there too late, then we'll have wind against tide and it'll be
dangerous,
nasty. So we need to get the tide right because the Cook Strait is not somewhere where you don't want to get it wrong, from what I've heard.
I think it's going to be a good trip. I think that going through the Cook Strait is going to be intense, but I don't think it's going to be too bad.
Are you scared?
I'm not scared. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. It's really nice to be making new memories on Echo that are happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good.
It's always scary. Oh my God. Is that a good height?
We're just coming around the Marlborough Sounds now, which is this network of channels and valleys, almost fjord-like, on the northern part of the South Island of New Zealand. And yeah, I'd love to stop off there, but unfortunately the wind means we just have to sail past. But it does look very cool. Some dramatic hills in the distance, as you can see. And just like that, we were off. Ahead of us lay a 650 nautical mile passage tracing the rugged spine of New Zealand. From the Abel Tasman in the south all the way to the Bay of Plenty in the north. On board Echo, Rachel's 36-foot cutter. And we knew this wouldn't be a simple cruise. New Zealand throws everything at you. Relentless tides, savage acceleration zones, and some of the most magnificent scenery on Earth.
I think it's a lenticular cloud. I don't know much about them, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty rare. I think they're bad. I think it means that like the air is really unstable. I know if you're flying airplanes, you're supposed to avoid them. I don't know about sailboats, though. I guess we'll find out.
It looks like a lenticular cloud. Or it could be a cunnilingus cloud.
Cunnilingus?
Yeah. Yes, or it could be an upper my bumbus.
Up on my bumpus?
Yeah.
Looks more like cunnilingus to me.
Okay, so we are into the treacherous Cook Strait. As you can see, this is the roughest patch of water in New Zealand. But because we've been paying meticulous attention to the weather, it's a flat calm today. Hopefully it'll be like this all the way through. Obviously there's no wind, so we can't really sail, so we're motoring, which is a bit of a shame. But it can get really nasty in here, especially once you have wind against tide. Like this is pretty much completely exposed to like the Southern Ocean, so you just have this horrible like funneling of wind, funneling of swell, loads of tide, and it's just like a recipe for really rough water.
It's coming up on 9 p.m. The wind's starting to fill in a little bit as we're entering the Cook Strait. At sunset, hopefully through the night, the wind stays relatively calm and on the beam. It's been really nice just spending time with Max and Rachel and disconnecting and just catching up with old friends. Just looking forward to the next few days. It's been a great start to the passage so far.
Alright, so it's 1:30 in the morning and we're just coming through the Cook Strait now. We got a really nice bit of breeze and probably about 2 knots of tide, maybe 3 knots of tide behind us because we're doing like 8.5 knots over the ground. But yeah, so that's like the South Island behind me, and then over there, you're not gonna be able to see it, but over there is Wellington. Look here on the chart. We're literally coming through the middle part of the strait, like right between the North and South Island. And there definitely is a little bit of an acceleration zone, like the wind's picked up, Had to take a reef. There's one reef in the main. Probably gonna put in another jibe in a second and like hook behind the corner of the North Island. But it's like ideal conditions for coming through here.
Build as we came out around Wellington. Now we're coming pretty close to Cape Palliser. The sun's just come up. It's a beautiful sunrise. Saw an albatross this morning, which was super cool. I was really excited to see that. I've never seen an albatross before.
It's just about 7 a.m. That's Cape Palliser over there. Had a reasonably windy night. Probably like 20, gusting 30. But now it's eased off quite a bit. The sun's coming out. Pretty chill. I imagine it's gonna get windier and then it's gonna die out. We'll see. Oh, hectic in there last night. It's time to shake a reef.
The amount of sail changes we'd made in the last 24 hours was actually ridiculous. We left the Abel Tasman with a fair breeze, which slowly died until the sea was completely glassy. But as we pushed into the Cook Strait, the wind built and it kept on building. We went from first reef to second, eventually ditching both headsails to handle a 30-knot gusts. Then, just as quickly the wind died back down, first reef, full main, and suddenly we were becalmed all over again. This is classic coastal sailing next to mountains. They force the wind into tight channels, acceleration zones, or block it completely in wind shadows. Compared to ocean sailing, where the weather hardly changes, this was exhausting, but the trade-off, incredible scenery stretching out before us, frequent wildlife encounters, and it's safe to say there was absolutely no boring watches. Good morning. We are becalmed off Cape Palliser, which you can see behind me, which is the southern tip of the North Island of New Zealand. And the Cook Strait is obviously just this wind funnel where all of the wind funnels between the two islands. And then as soon as you get behind the shelter of this big headland, apparently the wind just dies completely. So we're back to motoring again until a breeze fills in. All of this land here is just completely empty as far as I can see. There's almost no signs of development at all, which is one of the things I really like about New Zealand is so few people live here. Oh, that's really cool. You can actually see some like snow-capped mountains in the distance on the South Island as well.
Been a nice little change up. Last night was pretty rough. On my watch, the wind built maybe like 30-35 knots, and the sea state got pretty uncomfortable. We ended up having to take both the headsails down, and we put 2 reefs in the main. Probably could have used a third, but we don't have the third reefing line set up, so we just kind of made do with what we had. But when I was up on the deck lashing down the staysail, the seas got quite rough, and I like slipped on the deck and started sliding back to the leeward side, but my harness caught me. That's why it's super important to set up jack lines. I think Rachel saw it and thought it was pretty funny, but scared the shit out of me in the moment, but you know, all is good.
We're heading up the east coast. Got nice wind. We've had a good day of sailing. Honestly, going through the Cook Strait was pretty chill.
How are the vibes on board?
Vibes are great. The vibes are happy. I've had some really good watches, really good sailing. Happy cries. We're heading into a new life.
Fresh start.
Fresh start. That's what this year is about.
The next leg saw us reaching up the lee side of the North Island. We had a gusty breeze rolling off the mountains, hitting Echo square on the beam. It was a constant battle, either too much wind or not enough, but we were tearing our way north regardless, baking under the unforgiving New Zealand sun. We fell into the rhythm of 3-hour watches, taking it turns to cook, and before we knew it, we were setting in for our second night at sea. Alright, so this is our third day out of the Abel Tasman. We've made good progress coming up the east coast of the North Island, and we're literally about 15 miles away from the town of Napier, which is where we're going to pull into next. Yeah, you can see behind me, this is Kidnap Point, I think. Kidnap Point it's called. I'd love to know why. And just behind there is the town of Napier, where we're going to pull into and wait for the next weather window to get around the East Cape. The wind has died on us again. It was pretty windy last night because all the way up this stretch of coastline you have the wind blowing over the top of the island. So it's really gusty with very intense gusts rolling down from the hills that kind of switch on and off. So one moment you'll be completely becalmed with no wind at all, and then the next moment it picks up to like 25 knots, and that happened 4 or 5 times throughout the night. Today it's just dropped off completely and we're motor sailing the last 10 miles into Napier, and yeah, we should be in this evening, which is going to be nice after almost 3 days of sailing. So yeah. Kiwi?
Got a fish. Oh, huge one.
Alright.
Whoop.
Hold it. Do you want to do the others or should I?
Oh, big one. Oh, snapped. Oh, got off. That's all right.
So we keep catching the same type of fish. It keeps getting loose, but we've caught 2 of them already. We're not sure what it is. Some kind of New Zealand mackerel, but yeah, having fish tonight.
How's it going, Rachel?
Hello.
So this was it, the first half of our trip over. We'd made it through the first big obstacle of the voyage, which was the Cook Strait, and now we just had the notorious East Cape ahead of us. But that was for another day, and for now we'd be pulling into the small coastal town of Napier to wait out another period of bad weather before continuing on the journey. Thanks again for watching another update from this New Zealand rescue mission. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you thought about this one in the comments. And make sure to follow Rachel, owner and skipper of Echo, and also Nick, our crewmate, drone pilot and all-round nice guy. Thanks again for watching this little video. In the next one, we're going to be rounding the East Cape with a new crew member. I will see you then.
Yeah, good.